fruitcakes from 1895. Lard, 100% solid pig fat, a disturbing concept, and we're going to fry a dessert in it. Start with 1.5 cups of sour milk. They mean buttermilk. Full cup of heavy cream. Oh my. 2 eggs. Oh, this is thick. 1.5 teaspoons of floof soda. Pinch of salt. Add flour until we get a pie dough consistency. I don't know what type of pie dough you're dealing with. Disturbingly dense. And now we heat 2 pounds of lard for deep frying. Pounds! Just get out of the box, please. Let's go, big boy. Wait, you didn't tell me what shape they are. When in doubt, triangles. I'm not ready. Just flip. Cooperate. You are... Oh my God. Hello, lard triangle. You were swimming in animal fat. How does it feel? Then we roll them in sugar. Ooh. That in my stomach like a bowling ball. The dominant flavor is saturated fat. No spices, just cream and... I have a sudden urge to hibernate. A frozen orange juice pie from 53. Now, I've seldom heard of orange-flavored pies, likely because it's a bad idea, but Betty Crocker doesn't think so. Pastry! Hello. You were misshapen. Stop it! Then we form this to a pie dish. An 8-inch is preferable. It sure is, Betty. 8 minutes at 475. Now we dilute our frozen orange juice concentrate with just 1 can of water. What are you looking at? Into a saucepan, a cup of sugar, 1/4 cup cornstarch. Done. 1/2 cup of OJ. Slowly whisking in until boiling. Fire! The yolks of 2 eggs. Temper the eggs. Get back in. After a minute, remove from heat and add 2 tablespoons of butter. Meringue? What are you doing, Betty? The 2 egg whites. 1/4 cup of sugar. Stiff. Get it. So the pie's not frozen, is it, Betty? No, it was just the orange juice. 400 for 10 minutes. Looks a bit sad. Wow. It's an orange meringue pie. With really bad oranges. No. A Fiesta peach spam bake from 1954. Yes, folks, Thanksgiving is soon upon us, which means plenty of family drama, so I say why not just cut to the chase, serve this, and make everybody visibly upset. We begin by draining a can of sliced peaches. Save the syrup. Time for spam. Nothing says the holidays like ambiguous meat. Please exit. Now we slice it lengthwise 4 times, but don't go all the way through. Stud the spam with cloves. Are you joking? You're not joking. This is ridiculous. Happy Thanksgiving, everyone. 2021's been a rough year. Mercy. Now we insert the peaches into the spam. Open up. Time to receive peaches. To the 1/4 cup of peach syrup, we add 2 tablespoons of brown sugar. Are you aware that the syrup is sugar? Now that's just vulgar. Add the peaches. 375 for 35 minutes. Oh dear. Why do I keep doing this? That's not a good laugh, because this tastes like if Christmas gave up. A spaghetti-o jello ring from the 60s. Now, I've been unable to confirm whether or not this recipe actually existed in the 60s, not that I particularly want to, but seemingly everybody and their dog has sent me this. Into a saucepan goes a 1/4 cup of tomato soup, 1/4 cup of water. Now 2 packs of gelatin. Wonder what demon we'll summon today. Fire! Now that this is completely smooth, we remove from heat and add 2 cans of SpaghettiOs. Is life insurance expensive? Into a bunt. Good night. Ooh! Did I mention there were sausages? Because there are sausages. I don't want to do it. That is unnatural. It's like a morgue. I need a hug. Corn cookies from 1930. Now, if cornmeal were to end up in my sugar cookie dough, I would consider that a mistake. But these people have done it on purpose. Do you know what that's called? Criminal intent. Begin by creaming a 1/2 cup of margarine with a 1/2 cup of sugar. They say using softened margarine is ideal. No, honey, what's ideal is not using margarine. 1 egg. So far, so good. And then came the cornmeal. Cornmeal in a sugar cookie. What a bright idea. Oh, cornmeal on the floor. I'm gonna start needing blood pressure medication. 3/4 of a cup and 1/2 cup of flour. Mixed. Now we form a log. Come on, be a good corn log. To the icebox. You are frozen. And now we roll it in cornmeal. Cookies. 8 minutes at 375. Huh? Whoa. This is lovely. It's a sugar cookie with a bachelor's degree. Bravo. Eggnog from 1895. So eggnog is already one of my favorite things, but homemade is supposedly 10 times better. Oh my gosh, by golly. We start with the yolks of 5 eggs. Save the whites. Then we whisk in sugar. Doesn't tell me how much, so I'm gonna use a cup. It's Christmas. Yes, I will be calling this eggnog. Now we add 2 cups of moo juice and 1 cup of heavy cream to a cauldron. Sorry, my cauldron's in the dishwasher. Cinnamon, 4 cloves. Fire! We're scalding, not boiling. Then we temper the eggs with about half of this mixture. And then back you go. Low heat until thick. Done. Strain it. Not today, cloves. Egg whites. Come on, time for mixing. Just a touch of sugar. Fold. Nutmeg. Now, if you're not comfortable with raw egg whites, you can heat this whole mixture back up, but it won't be as fluffy. To the fridge. Oh, it's thick. More nutmeg. Oh dear. This has ruined all other eggnog. Delicious. It's life-changing. It's Christmas. Christmas crack from the 70s. Now, if it weren't already obvious by the name, this recipe hails from the USA, where it is a Christmas staple. They do things differently around here. We start with a whole sleeve of saltine crackers. I'm guessing that's where the name comes from, which is disappointing. We line these up flat over some good foil. Now into a saucepan goes 1 cup of butter and 1 cup of brown sugar. Fire! We're boiling for 5 minutes. Bubble, bubble. Now we pour this over the crackers. With the saltines. Oh dear. Then 350 for 7 minutes. As soon as these come out of the oven, we top with a whole bag of chalky chips. Then spread. Ooh, I see what you're working with. Then you can top this with whatever you want. I'm gonna use walnuts. To the fridge. Done. Hello. And now we crack the sheet. The name is making a lot more sense now. Ooh. My goodness. America, you've done it again. This is fantastic. Peppermint patties from 1946. Now, I didn't know that one could make these at home. I thought it was a closely guarded industrial process. But apparently not. Take that, big peppermint. We start with 1 cup of sweetened condensed milk. In goes 1.5 teaspoons of peppermint extract. Be very careful with this. Stuff's stronger than my desire to drop out of college. Slowly add 5 to 5.5 cups of powdered sugar. Christmas time means sugar time. You can use a stand mixer. I'm just easily frightened by machinery. Done. Now you might need more or less powdered sugar. You're just looking for a workable dough. Parchment. More powdered sugar. Hello, Dolly. To the freezer. Now over a double boiler, we melt 4 cups of chocolate. Adding to it 2 teaspoons of shortening. Get off with the spoon! Fire! Then once your chocolate is melted and your patties are firm, you take a fork, and then woo! It's a little bit messy. They don't stop. To the fridge. Woo! Yes! Look at that. You can do that. 10 out of 10. How are these so perfect? The Christmas fruitcake from 1900. So I've never made a fruitcake, but if you're anything like me, you are one. Start with 1.5 cups of butter and 3 cups of brown sugar. Half cup of treacle and 6 eggs. How big is this cake? 4.5 cups of flour, nutmeg, cloves, allspice, cinnamon, plus 1.5 teaspoons of floof powder. Get in. I present to you the fruit. The mix is 8 ounces each of candied orange peel, pineapple, cherries, dried figs, currants, dates, raisins, all soaked in an obscene amount of brandy. Look away, kids. Ooh, that hurts. It's been festering for a few days. 3 cups of walnuts. This is ridiculous. A lot of fruit, brandy, and nuts. Sounds like a good weekend. 300 for 2 hours. Done. Now time for a cheesecloth and more brandy. Well, there goes that. And now we just wait. Ooh. I feel like I'm exhuming a body. Hello. Well, it's very moist and very potent. Don't feed too much to Grandpa. He won't make it down the stairs. Love it or hate it, it's the taste of Christmas. And that's quite fine by me. An impossible pie from 1969. Some things are naturally impossible, like perpetual motion or happy AT&T customers. But apparently this pie makes itself. First you get your blender. It's good to be back. Then simply add 1/2 cup of butter, cup of sugar, 2 cups of moo juice, oh god, 4 eggs, cup of shredded coconut, 1/2 cup of flour, and some vanilla. Now we blend, cause why not? Let's hope this doesn't kill the blender. And that's it. While this bakes, it apparently forms its own crust and layers. I have my doubts. 350 for an hour. Done! Enough! Cool. And then to the fridge. Hello. Impossible! It did it. Formed its own pie. Coconut and vanilla. How did that work? You crazy old people. A baked bean pizza from 1954. Now I'm scared of lots of things, including the IRS, clowns, and English majors. But I'm most afraid of beans where they don't belong. Oh dear. The sauce begins with a can of tomato paste. Plus 8 ounces of spaghetti sauce. Really starting out on the wrong foot. More like the wrong limb. Add oregano for an authentic taste. I feel like I'm in Italy. For the crust, we squashed together refrigerator biscuits. Sorry, what were you saying about authentic? On goes the sauce. A bit of Parmesan. Now 20 ounces of baked beans. What part of Italy are you from? Kentucky? In the center, some fresh mozzarella. How to get an entire country to hate you. Step 1. This. $4.25 for 10, then $3.25 for 20. No. We can serve this with anchovies or sardines. How about a swift death? Oh, what? What is wrong with you? You are sick! It's just vile. Broiled humdingers from 1967. Don't ask. This is a spam recipe, one of mid-century America's favorite things, right up there next to big cars and being prejudiced. First up, we put our can of spam in a blender. It's gonna be one of those days, huh? Perfect! If this red flag was any bigger, it would be a blanket. To the ground spam, we add a teaspoon of mustard, plus 2 tablespoons of ketchup, which is spelled catsup. Why? Quarter cup of moo juice and a half cup of oats. I just don't understand. Are there worse things than this? Doubt it. You know, jokes aside, I'm quite disturbed by this. The next step is to strain our can of halved peaches. Of course it is. The epitome of logic. I think I'm becoming jaded. Peaches onto a baking sheet. Form some patties. Squish. Broil these on the top rack for 10 minutes. Maybe they'll disappear. Well, some didn't make it, which is unfortunate because it means some did. Well, that was utterly horrendous. Thank you. Peanut butter bread from the Great Depression. Now, the Depression was rough, and while some people like it that way, the world of baking didn't. Butter, sugar, and eggs were scarce, but there was shelf-stable peanut butter. Start with 2 cups of flour, a pinch of salt, only a quarter cup of sugar, and 4 teaspoons of baking powder. Is that a typo? We want the bread to rise, not generate thrust. On this episode of Bread Goes to Space. Mix. In goes 1 1/3 cup of moo juice. That's milk. Now the half cup of peanut butter. You know, Peter Pan came out in 1928. Brave king. I waited until 2019. Get him. Fold. I don't know about this. There's not much to it. Meow. Bake at 325 for about 1 hour and 10 minutes. Well, it smells divine. That's a good crumb. Man. This is stellar. It's perfectly peanut buttery and sweet. So good with so little. This is why I bake. Milkorno from the Great Depression. What is the cheapest food? Was the question asked at the height of the Depression. So food scientists at Cornell came up with this. We start with a cup of cornmeal. So far, so good. Then a half cup of powdered milk. That didn't last long. Teaspoon of salt. Mixed into a saucepan with 3 cups of water. Chunky. Bring to a prolonged boil. Ah! Just how prolonged is this boil? It's done. Now, if this were to be your dinner, you'd add some tomato sauce and some pepper. For dessert, a touch of molasses. And simming them! Tastes like a wet blanket. They're all so sad, like depressed polenta, oatmeal that needs therapy, unemployed grits, a Valentine's cream pie from '59. Now I can't think of anything better for Valentine's Day than a good old-fashioned cream pie. And this one features the maraschino cherry pastry. Hello. Goodbye. For the pie pan, we're going to want a 9-inch. I know I do too. If you've got one, don't just force it in. Be gentle. Now, whether or not to edge is up to you. Some people aren't that patient. Blind bake at 425 for 15 minutes. This finished a bit early. Happens to the best of us. Into a saucepan goes a cup of sugar, quarter cup cornstarch, 2 eggs, 2 cups of moo juice, quarter cup of cherry juice. Hopefully it'll be pink. Bring this to a boil and stir constantly. Fire! If your hand gets tired, just keep going. I'm single, so I'm used to it. Once it's thickened, we remove from heat and add in a half cup of chopped cherries. In you go. To the fridge. Next, a cup of cream whipped. Some people are into that. Now we get to top. That's always fun. I like that. Very sweet, but I like it.